At its peak, this empire believed it had solved the problem of collapse. Its leaders were convinced that history had reached a permanent state, that the system they had built would endure indefinitely. History proved otherwise. What destroyed this empire wasn't a single invasion, a sudden famine, or one catastrophic battle. It was something far quieter, slower, almost invisible at first, and by the time it was fully understood, there was no way back. For centuries, this empire dominated vast territories, governed millions of people, and shaped the foundations of the world that followed. Its laws outlived its rulers. Its infrastructure connected distant regions into a single, functioning system. Its influence spread so deeply that even its enemies adopted its methods. Stability became normal, and normality bred confidence. Over time, success stopped being questioned. Institutions hardened into traditions. Traditions became untouchable. Leaders no longer asked whether the system still worked. They asked only how to preserve it. The empire had stopped evolving, but nothing appeared broken. The first real problem did not look like a threat. It looked like efficiency. As the empire grew more complex, it built larger systems to manage that complexity. Bureaucracy expanded, rules multiplied, procedures became standardized. On paper, this made the empire stronger. In reality, it slowed decision-making and pushed leadership further away from reality. Local flexibility was replaced by centralized control. Innovation was replaced by compliance. Solutions began creating new problems. To sustain its size, the empire needed more resources. To gather those resources, it raised taxes. To enforce taxes, it expanded administration. Each step made sense on its own. Together, they created dependency. Regions that once adapted quickly now waited for instructions. The system became rigid, not because it was weak, but because it was over-engineered. Flexibility had once been its greatest strength. Now, rigidity defined it. The turning point did not arrive with fire or chaos. There was no single moment when everything collapsed. Instead, pressure accumulated. Borders became harder to defend. Leadership became reactive rather than strategic. Short-term fixes replaced long-term planning. The empire was still powerful, but it was no longer resilient. And resilience, not power, determines survival. When strain finally became impossible to ignore, the system could not respond quickly enough. Institutions failed before armies did. Trust eroded before territory was lost. Authority weakened long before control disappeared. What followed was not a dramatic fall, but fragmentation. The empire did not collapse overnight. It thinned, it fractured, and slowly it faded. Cities emptied, systems broke apart, regions drifted away. History often simplifies this process. It blames foreign enemies, it blames corruption, it blames individual leaders. But those were symptoms, not causes. The real failure was believing that success could be frozen in time. History did not lie, it simplified. This pattern is not unique. It appears again and again, across centuries and civilizations. Whenever systems confuse stability with permanence, whenever institutions stop adapting, whenever success convinces people that evolution is no longer necessary, empires do not fall because they are weak. They fall because they believe they are finished changing. And this was not the last time history repeated this mistake. In fact, the same pattern appears again, under different names in different eras, with even greater consequences. If you want to understand how these patterns repeat across history, subscribe to TimeMaster, where history comes alive.